Hi guys, Rob Day here from Rob Day Productions with Greyhound Angels, and I've been with other adoption agencies for greyhounds in the past. Just a quick call out to Emily. I'm not speaking on behalf of Greyhound Angels today, just my own opinion, okay, about your question, which was how do I get a fussy greyhound to eat other food other than dongs, cheese and doggy snacks. That's a pretty spoiled dog, I reckon. He's doing pretty good to have you. As you can see, our beloved little Foster here has just decided to come and, oh, great. He was just licking his stitches, which is where his balls used to be, which is why I had to tell him off. Anyway, there's a couple of reasons why your dog might be fussy. Let's look at the dog as a species before we look at it as your pet, okay? So according to one study, dogs are 99.9% wolf. Their mitochondrial DNA, which is the cellular DNA that is responsible for digestion and things like that, this organelle inside the DNA, is 99.9% wolf. There could be social factors why your dog is fussy. Could be to do with a hierarchy and not wanting to eat with a dominant dog in the house. The blue grey you showed me in the photo might be the dominant one in that case. Could be that the greyhound has very weak teeth. A lot of greyhounds have very weak teeth because they're fed crap by the trainers in the racing industry. Normally, it's the cheapest way to go, as long as they run fast. If they don't, quite often. So why spend extra food on premium dog food when you can just go through the dogs like an expendable resource? So it could be that. So you may want to, because I mean, cheese and doggy snacks are kind of soft foods. So what you might want to do, we had a dog like that actually who was fed purely on Wheat Bix and rice and bran and mince meat at one stage with honey on top of all things. So one of the things you may want to do is change the consistency of the food. Dogs aren't like humans in the sense that if you have a lot of mushy food all the time, it can lead to bowel cancer, touch wood. They have a totally different setup inside their system. And they're also able to, unlike other obligate carnivores out there, they're actually omnivorous. They can eat rice, bran, sodium, starch, mince meat, and everything raw meat, always raw, not cooked with bones, but obviously mince meat you can cook up. You can try a tough love approach. Keep the food the same. Feed them in the morning as you would normally do, or in the evening. Leave the bowl there for about 30 minutes. Let the dog sniff it, snub the food, remove the bowl so it doesn't come back and forward all the time. Because coming back and forward to the bowl, in the dog's brain, all it does is it reinforces that it can eat at any stage, which means if you've been feeding it snacks at the dinner table, at the breakfast table, or in the kitchen where you're cooking, the dog is used to, like we had Bella, she was a foster dog. She was brought up with a loving family with a little child, and the child would just randomly feed Bella, and of course she had no manners whatsoever with us. We would be eating and she would literally lick our plate, and in the dog world that is very dominant. So leave the bowl there for 30 to 40 minutes at your normal feeding time with the same sort of food, then take the bowl away. This is a controlled hunger for the dog. The dog will come up to you as normal and expect its snacks from you or the children in the house during your feeding time or whatever it is. It's really, really important you don't do that, no matter how much of the cute puppy dog eyes, so that was a little bit not cute, they give you. And just make sure that you don't give in to the cuteness, because it's not cuteness in their world, it's dominance. If they lick you because they want to eat, it's dominance. Let them watch you eat. In the dog world, whoever eats first is the dominant pack leader. I know there's a lot of people that disagree with that because they've humanized their dogs and they believe that they're just like us and they should sit around the dinner table. Put the bowl down the second time later in the day when you would normally feed them the second or third time. 30 to 40 minutes, they'll probably start eating a little bit more of it because they're hungry at this stage. This is controlled hunger. This is why it's called tough love. It's not much different to controlled crying, which some parents do as well with their babies. Again, 30 to 40 minutes, take the food away. The dog will be fine. It'll fill up on water and fluids. It will get into its own routine, its own mind, expecting a feed in the morning. The third time you go to feed the dog, which is normally the following morning, it will be very hungry. Leave the food down there for 25 to 30 minutes and let the dog have a snack at it and eat it. Take it away. Repeat this day in, day out. Eventually your dog will get to a point where they will get so hungry that they will want to eat the food. Dogs love raw normally. In their natural habitat in the wild, they wouldn't be cooking food, they wouldn't be getting casserole out of a dog can, which by the way is one of the worst foods. Dog food is actually the worst food for dogs. So what we did with one dog, because he didn't like cooked food, minced meat, casserole from the shopping centre and all that sort of thing, is all we simply did was in the morning, he was a big boy, so 4 chicken frames in the bowl alone, because dogs with raw food, there's something that makes their heckles go up, the wolf in them comes out, and they'll turn on each other faster than prisoners if you were to chuck some crack into a prison yard. Thanks Daniel for that joke, by the way. Just get raw food, never cook the bones ever. Chicken frames, chicken legs, And just the chicken frames are great. 4 in a bowl. Let them have that. They may want to take it away into the garden and bury it. Prevent that from happening. That's the wolf side of them coming out. So you want to lock them away from being able to bury their bones later, because that can cause a fight between the two dogs when the other one finds it and you're at work. But raw is a really good way of strengthening the gums and the teeth of the greyhound, which are normally quite weak after being in the kennels for years, or the cages for years. And also they have all the natural, unrefined sustenance that an animal in the wild would need. And as I said, it's just great for their teeth and the general digestive system. You want to just keep a routine and structure. You know what it's like when you come home, your dog's excited to see you because it knows he's going for, or she's going for that walk with you. They love that structure. There's no difference between that dog walk and the feeding time. So give that a go. All the best to your mum, and thanks very much for watching our videos. And if you like this video, please share it as usual. All the best.